Good citizens, attend. Upon this soil of Carolina, where pine and dust bear witness, the Republic is tested not by foreign cannon, but by familiar hands. Hear now of a contest among kin, where power weighs patience against presence, parchment against people. Let it be known that liberty is not preserved by silence, nor guided by whispers left at doors in the night. This account is set forth so the voter may judge, and the Republic may remember who it belongs to. Drums roll steady, hear them sound from Carolina's voting grounds. My voice not blade, by right not fear, the people's hour gather here. Stand fast now, the road is clear, truth and liberty draw near. Attend the call, the bell is strong. Go right with Peter Boykin, now muster up.
Hi, I am Peter Boykin, your host of Go Right with Peter Boykin. You can read more on GoRightNews.com and GoRightNC.com. The knives thrown before the primary are the knives we trip over after. There comes a moment in every political movement where mirror becomes unavoidable. A moment when you cannot outrun the truth or disguise it behind talking points, slick ads, or party slogans. A moment when a party must confront what it has become and decide what it wants to be. And that moment has arrived for Republicans in North Carolina. Because what we are witnessing right now is not a normal primary. It is not a spirited debate. It is not a competition of ideas. It is a knife fight on the kitchen floor, while everyone else keeps pretending the broken glass will somehow sweep itself up and walk away. The Berger versus Page primary is not just a contest between two men. It is a collision between two definitions of leadership, two visions for the future of the state, and two very different understandings of who deserves to choose the direction of the Republican Party. You can learn a lot from the pattern that repeats itself every election cycle. A challenger rises. A sheriff, in this case, with grassroots support, steps forward. He speaks plainly. He carries the trust of the people he serves. And almost immediately, insiders begin to close ranks. Pressures begin in quiet places. Conversations happen that were never meant to see daylight. And before the voters even have a chance to speak, the political knives come out. First comes the doorstep letter. A sitting senator driving across county lines to leave a message on the front porch of a man who is not even filed yet. A letter telling him not to run. Not because he is unqualified, not because his ideas are unsound, but because his candidacy complicates someone else's plan. That letter was more than paper. It was a signal. A signal that some leaders inside the Republican Party believe voters are a formality and ballot choices should be prearranged for them. Then come the attack ads. Night after night, screen after screen. They do not mention Phil Berger by name, but they hammer Sheriff Sam Page relentlessly. They chip at his credibility. They question his judgment. They drag his record through the mud while leaving his opponent untouched. They do it so quietly and so carefully, you might also almost believe no one is responsible. But that silence is revealing, because if an ad attacks one man but never names the other, it is not an accident, it is a strategy. Then comes the investigation. The SBI steps in. Documents are missing or delayed. Filings are questioned. Suddenly, a routine bureaucratic matter turns into a political storm. The timing is tight. The messaging is loud. The effect is unmistakable. And it does not matter whether the investigation produces anything or nothing at all. Sounds familiar? Sounds like what they did to Donald Trump. Many times. The cloud alone becomes a weapon. People see it. People hear it. People feel it. And trust begins to erode. Then comes the endorsement. Donald Trump enters the scene. A powerful voice. A respected leader. A man who still energizes the Republican base like no one else. And he gives Berger his blessing, Berger. He encourages Sam Page to withdraw and join a future administration. And Page does something rare. He says thank you and still chooses the voters of North Carolina. Because loyalty to the people who elected you has to come before loyalty to political convenience. All of this reveals something deeper than a primary. It reveals the truth about how Republicans treat each other when power feels threatened. It reveals a party that sharpens knives instead of sharpening ideas. It reveals a leadership structure more interested in protecting incumbents than empowering voters. It reveals a fear that competition will lead to change, and change threatens those who have grown comfortable at the top. Republicans like to say the real fight is against Democrats, but the truth is far more uncomfortable. The greatest threat to the Republican Party is not coming from the left, it is coming from inside the party itself. From the belief that power must be protected, not earned. That challengers must be discouraged, not debated. That voters must be guided, not trusted. Now let me go off the page a moment. I, for one, know about this. I have ran for office multiple times in this great state of North Carolina. Some people say you shouldn't run again because you lost so many times. Well, Abraham Lincoln ran many times. And again, there's that system that people will reach out to you and say, you don't have enough money. It costs more money to run. You shouldn't run. You're going to be in somebody else's way. I know for a fact. I've even had that, and I don't like to talk about it as much, in my local Republican Party. I ran for chairman with mixed results. Don't want to go into it fully, but it made me feel unwelcome. It made me feel I wasn't part of the clique. I also, before then, wanted to put forth my bid to be at least given a chance to speak for our county commissioner. That was already decided. Behind closed doors, without the press, individuals in my local party, a very small, extremely small fraction of the real voters in our county, decided who they wanted in. Regardless of that individual and how well they could do the job or not do the job, the voters were not given the shot. Understandably, the process states that they don't have to in an appointment like that. But still, it digs deep into the backdoor system. And I, for one, have felt like I have been ran over by that system. And there's many people out there. I think the true grassroots people, the true people who don't have a lot of funding behind them, should get a shot. It's time. People talk about term limits. They work in organizations where they want term limits. They talk about the swamp. They talk about the infrastructure. They talk about the backdoor dealings. They talk about the entitlement. They talk about the good boys club. But yet then nobody does anything about it. I encourage you, when it comes to voting, don't look at how much somebody raises. Don't look at how somebody's super popular. Look at what those individuals talk about. See if they are someone that will work for you, who will work for everybody. See what they've put out there. Money and power to get elected is not the way to go. We need to do better. Now let's continue. So what happens is this internal warfare leaves scars, deep ones. You cannot stab someone in the spring and expect them to knock doors for you in the fall. You cannot spend months attacking a candidate, insulting his supporters, questioning his integrity, dragging his name through the mud, and then pretend unity will magically appear like sunshine after a storm. Politics does not work this way. People do not work that way. If the Republican Party wants to thrive in a constitutional republic, it must rediscover the principles that built it. Competition, transparency, debate, trust the voter, faith in the grassroots, respect for the people, not only the donors and the insiders. Because primaries are not supposed to be coordinations. I know for that. I know all about that. Primaries are supposed to be choices. Let the voters decide who leads them. Not letters slipped into doorsteps. Not silent ad campaigns paid for in shadows. Not rumors and backtalk speak online. Not investigations timed to convenience. And not endorsements used like weapons. There's a reason why our local GOP organizations and our state organizations are supposed to stay silent during a primary, not make endorsements. To give the people the chance to vote in a primary. That includes sitting officials having to be reevaluated, primaried, and voted for again. Just because you have the position doesn't mean it's your position for life. Some people out there who claim they want term limits, who work on organizations who claim they want things like that. Again, they don't move aside. They believe they're in there for life. I commend the folks that do decide enough's enough, who do start teaching our new generation, who do grow our parties for new growth, and understand that the power they have today needs to be given up tomorrow. So this is bigger than Sam Page. This is bigger than Phil Berger, or Berger. Bigger than Rockingham County or Raleigh. This is a crossroads for the Republican Party in North Carolina. One path leads to a party controlled from the top down, a party that manages choices, instead of offering them, a party that fears its own members more than its political opponents, and the other path leads to a party built from the bottom up, a party that trusts the people, a party that values courage over comfort, accountability over control, and ideas over intimidation. North Carolina deserves a Republican Party that debates without destroying, a party that listens without silencing, a party that trusts its voters more than its power brokers, a party strong enough to handle disagreement without resorting to political assassination. I, for one, when I ran for office, I really wanted more debate. I wanted us to debate more. I wanted us to meet with each other and gain knowledge off each other, and that ultimately that candidate who won would take a little bit from all the other candidates. I, for one, when I ran for lieutenant governor, it was a very long shot, but if I had won that primary for lieutenant governor, I ran against, 11, 12, 13 other people, I would have definitely brought those people on board to get their input on what did they bring to the table to help in that political process. And I think that's what's left out with these candidates, especially the long-term candidates. They forget about the people. They forget about what we want, what questions we have. They don't really get with the other people who are primarying them to find out what's going on. How can I help you? Can I reach out to you? That's something I would have liked the local party to understand when I presented my ideas and my plan of action for our party. Sadly, I did not hear any input. Which leads us to the end of this commentary. Because the knives we throw before the primary are the very knives we trip over after the primary. And if Republicans do not learn that lesson soon, then the victories the party claims to fight for will remain forever out of reach. Not because of Democrats, not because of the media, but because the wounds we inflict on ourselves. So the choice is here. The crossroads are now. And the future of this party will not be decided by the knives in our hands, but by the people with the courage to finally put them down. This has been #GoRight with Peter Boykin. You can find out more about this article on GoRightNews.com and GoRightNC.com. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this. God bless. And God bless North Carolina and America.
Down a quiet road in Rockingham, where the pines lean low and wide, men still talk of taxes and crime and the truth they keep inside. No banners fly, no cannons roar, just talk beneath the sky. But Raleigh's voice comes loud and sharp, telling who must rise or die. Oh, the knives are drawn in daylight, but the hands stay out of sight. Brother that fights his brother now in the name of wrong or right. This ain't red against the blue, it's a house at war within. Will the people choose their leaders, or will power choose again? Phil Berger rides the long road, built of paper, law, and time. He knows the rules, he knows the game, and he guards the party line. They say he kept the walls from falling, held the state when storms came through, but quiet deals meals and closed room talks leave some asking who is who. Sam Page walks the front lines with a badge and weary eyes. From fentanyl to border dust, where danger never lies. He speaks plain words to broken towns and shows up when bells ring. He says power must hear the cries before it rules like king. Oh, the knives are drawn in daylight, but the hands stay out of sight. Brother fights his brother now in the name of wrong or right. This ain't red against the blue, it's a house at war within. Will the people choose their leaders, or will power choose again? Then came a letter in the night, left quiet at the door, warning him to stand aside for the party and its war. Some call it duty, some call it fear, some call it something worse. When ballots bow to whispered threats, the Republic feels the curse. The papers talk of investigations, names spoken soft but clear. No verdict read, no judgment made, just shadows fueled by fear. And ads roll in like distant drums, striking one man down, while silence guards the other side like walls around the crown. Once we sang of brotherhood under flags both torn and true. History whispers every time when power fears the view. The fight ain't left or right, my friend, it's who the road belongs to, the men who walk it every day, or those who write the songs. Oh, the nights are drawn in daylight, and the wounds are deep and near. This is not a foreign battle, it's the fight we hold most dear. If a constitutional but printed still rust in voters' hands, then the quiet road of Rockingham must teach the louder lands. The road is still there waiting, dust and truth beneath the sky. The question ain't who wins this war, but who decides why.
Is the Republican Civil War finally here in North Carolina? Edited by Peter Boykin for GoRightNews.com and GoRightNC.com. A quiet road in Rockingham County tells the truth better than any poll. Drive it long enough and you hear what Raleigh never does. People talking about crime, about taxes, about schools that feel forgotten, about communities changing faster than anyone admits, but turn on the television and that quiet road vanishes. In its place is noise, attack ads, whispers, a Republican primary that sounds nothing like home. Phil Berger versus Sam Page. This is not just a race. It is a referendum on how power works inside a constitutional republic. Phil Berger built his power inside the system, years in the Senate, years of controlling budgets, reforms, and rules. Supporters call him stable. They trust patience, discipline, and the long game. In Berger's world, order protects conservatism. Sam Page built his influence on the front line, a sheriff, a presence, standing with deputies, victims, and families in crisis. He talks about fentanyl before politics, about border security before speeches. In Page's world, leadership shows up and answers now. They agree on more than people admit. Lower taxes, election integrity, strong constitutional rights, local authority, support for law enforcement. This is not ideology versus ideology. This is process versus presence. Then came the thunderstorm. The State Bureau of Investigation confirmed an active probe involving Sam Page. No conclusions, no details, just confirmation. Page says the timing is political. Supporters say investigations appear when power feels threatened. Critics say questions matter. The investigation became part of the battlefield. Then came the letter. A ring camera caught State Senator Amy Gailey leaving a letter on Page's doorstep the night before filing day. The message was clear. Do not run. Protect the caucus. Protect the Republican control of state government. Grassroots Republicans saw something else. Insiders are trying to decide the ballot, backroom pressure stepping into the light. That letter became a symbol. Then came the ads. Attack after attack, all aimed at Page, his record. The investigation. But never on Berger. Silence speaks louder than sound. Sam Page is attacked on television. Berger remains untouched. Voters see damage, but never the hand holding the knife. President Donald Trump endorsed Phil Berger and urged Page to step aside. Page thanked him and declined. He said voters deserve a choice. And that is the real fight. Not Berger versus Page, not endorsements versus independence, but whether power listens to voters or asks them to stay quiet. The roads of Rockingham County are still talking. The question is whether the party is listening, or whether this knife fight becomes the wound it refuses to heal. For more on this, visit and read the full article on GoRightNews.com or GoRightNC.com. Thanks for listening, and share this with others. good citizens. Our account concludes, yet the matter remains unsettled. In this republic, disputes among brethren are not signs of failing, but proofs of a living spirit. Power, when left to itself, leans toward presumption. Liberty, when neglected, withers in degrees too fine to see.
Carry these reflections beyond this chamber into the quiet lanes and crowded halls where the fate of our state is shaped.
Hold fast to reason, guard well your rights. Let no whisper of influence nor clatter of ambition turn your hand from what conscience commands. Until we gather again upon this long road of inquiry, I remain your servant in the cause of a vigilant and steadfast republic. And as the day's light fades, let every free citizen remember their charge to stand firm, to choose wisely,